Cyber Threat Landscape by Angelica, Christian, and Amelia. What are cyber threats? Cybercrime or computer crime is any criminal offense that involves a computer and a network. These crimes, including cyberterrorism, affect over 400 million people worldwide and cost about $400 billion each year. Cyber threat landscape refers to all of the potential and identified cyber threats that occur. These crimes can take on various forms, including identity theft, data manipulation, ransomware, internet scams, and denial of service attacks. Identity theft. Identity theft is the illegal assumption of someone's identity for selfish economic gain. Stolen identities are used to purchase items with credit cards, mail, and for other extensive crimes. Internet scams. Internet scams are scams using the internet creating various financial and legal problems for thousands of people every year. Most scams are initiated by mass mailing to unsuspecting individuals like the elderly or disabled. Just recently, Interpol busted a criminal network of 40 people across Nigeria, Malaysia, and South Africa, accused of scamming the innocent out of almost $60 million. Types of Internet scams. Phishing, communication in which a criminal pretends to be from an official organization and tricks you into sharing personal information, passwords, bank account numbers, etc. Most of the time, these communications include a link to a fake website designed to trick people into giving them passwords. Advance free, the most classic email scam, where the recipient receives an email from a wealthy foreigner needing bank account information, and for your troubles, you receive a large amount of money. Greeting card. An email social media communication informs you that a friend has sent a greeting card and you have to download the software to view it. Actually, malware is stealing your data and infecting your computer.
Types of internet scams. A bank or loan credit card scam is when criminals act as bank or credit card officials offering you unusually good deals on bank loans or credit cards to get you to pay huge processing fees and steal your personal information. A lottery scam is an email that informs you that you won the lottery and to claim your prize. However, you have to pay processing fees. These will take the processing fees, but you will not receive any lottery winnings. Data manipulation. Data manipulation is the unauthorized access of a computer network, copying files to or from the server. This can be as simple as making a tweet on Twitter logged in as someone else, or as complex as feeding a company false reports to change its business practices. This communication can occur for months and even years without victims even aware, making it hard to detect. Ransomware. Ransomware is defined as the malicious software that encrypts your computer's data and ransoms the password to the user. These criminals have targeted hospitals, food processing plants, endangering the health and safety of millions. Denial of service, or DOS attacks. DOS attacks attempt to slow down or stop a computer system by flooding a computer or network with requests for information and data. These can come from a single computer issuing the same repeated requests. Distributed denial of service attacks coordinate several computers making repeated requests for service. Usually, the targets of these attacks are internet service providers or ISPs and some specific websites. Under attack, servers become overwhelmed and are unable to respond to legitimate users. Malicious software. Cracker is a computer criminal who creates and distributes malicious programs. A virus is a program that migrates through networks and operating systems, attaching themselves to databases. Some are harmless, some are destructive, altering and deleting files. A worm is a program that simply replicates themselves over and over again, clogging computers and networks until slowed or stopped. They can carry viruses. A Trojan horse is a program that appears to be harmless, containing malicious programs, usually appear as free games and softwares downloaded from the internet.
Malicious hardware. So, the first type of malicious hardware we'll talk about is zombies. So, these are computers infected by a virus, a worm, or a Trojan horse, allowing them to be completely remotely controlled for malicious purposes like hacking or taking people's personal information, stuff like that. A collection of zombies is known as a botnet or a robot network, harnessing power to password crack, commit um, denial of service attacks, or send junk email to certain people who were, you know, vulnerable to certain things. The second malicious hardware is rogue Wi Fi hotspots. So these imitate free Wi Fi networks, capturing information sent by victims to sites, including usernames and passwords. So these rogue Wi Fi hotspots are basically fake Wi Fi hotspots trying to um, take advantage of vulnerable people and take all their information and use it for, you know, stealing money, all kinds of things. The third is infected USB flash drives containing viruses and other malicious software. Leaving them in public. That's what thieves like to do. They like to leave them in public spaces and hoping that others will plug them into their um, computers or phones or any other piece of hardware that you can be vulnerable to USB. It's very important to protect your computer, especially from viruses, worms, Trojan horses. The Computer Fraud and Abuse Act makes it a crime for unauthorized persons even to view, let alone copy, data using any computer across state lines in the United States. It also prohibits unauthorized use of government computers. However, the best option for everyone to use is just being prepared before these situations occur to you because you might not you might be able to get criminals to justice, you might get your justice, but at the end of the day you still went through a lot and it would be better to prevent it. A strong password with at least 8 characters, uppercase letters, no complete words, numbers, symbols, etc., is always going to work when it comes to having a strong, viable password, and that comes in together with prevention. Picture password, another great option. It's another Windows 10 application that accepts a series of gestures over a picture of the user's choice to gain access. Biometric scanning devices also use fingerprint, eye scanners, facial recognition, etc. to confirm if you are the real person or not. Firewalls are another great option for computer security. These act as a security buffer between private networks and the internet. So they evaluate certain files to see if they contain viruses, worms, Trojan horses, acting as a buffer between your network and the internet. Password managers are going to help you store passwords in one location, creating strong passwords as well. It's nice to have passwords all in one location so you don't lose them. Um, but at the same time, you have to remember that you need a mainframe password. So, a main password to allocate all of the stored passwords in the password manager. So, if you lose that main password, it's going to be hard to get all those passwords back if you do not remember them. The last but not least is two factor authentication. So, this should be pretty common to most people. You use these for most social media websites like Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Most companies like to ask you for two factor authentication. It's either a text message or your phone number or your fingerprint, or a password or a couple of questions to know who you really are. Just verify your identity. and including knowledge in your biometric data. So another important factor of protecting your computer would be encrypting your files. So encryption is the process of coding information to make it unreadable except to those who have a special piece of information known as the key to the encryption or the encryption key. Email encryption is the same concept. It protects emails as they move across the internet. And the most widely used program would be named Pretty Good Privacy. So you want to encrypt your emails if you're working with really important information, especially when it comes to your company, business, network, whatever. You need to encrypt your emails just in case. That's another good way to prevent. File encryption is protecting sensitive files by encrypting them before they're stored on a hard drive. Website encryption secures web transactions. So when you're buying things off the web and giving away your personal information, credit card information, you want that website to be encrypted with HTTPS, especially financial transactions. And like I said, HTTPS is honestly the most widely used internet protocol, and everybody should know that. VPNs encrypt connections between company networks and remote users, creating a secure virtual net connection to a company LAN server across the internet. VPNs are great to have a secure connection to a certain server. However, they're not going to protect you against a lot of things that most people would think. Most people think VPNs protect you from, viruses or other people viewing your cookies and other information. It's certain things that it does, but another things it doesn't. Wireless network encryptions restrict access to authorized users on wireless networks, and WPA2 is the most widely used wireless network encryption for home wireless networks. Overall, it's very important for anyone to protect the computer, whether you're a consumer, business, network, any of that sort, private institution, government institution. You have to protect yourself from criminals, thieves, hackers by restricting your access, encrypting all your data, anticipating disaster. Always think somebody's, trying to get you, because that's going to help you realize you have to always encrypt your data and prevent all these things from happening. And the websites we used were McGraw-Hill, Cloudian, and Trellix.com. So these were very helpful in the use of making